All right, and we're live. Saturday market wrap up with myself and Glenn, talking the facts, the figures, and the feelings on the ground. Stay tuned.
Well, Billy, they always like to say spring has sprung, and what a beautiful day out today. Pretty much through the whole week. Great selling conditions. I was coming in this just then after being out since 9 o'clock, showing properties, talking to vendors, talking to buyers, and we might do some twilight opens this summer.
Well,
Billy?
the light's only getting the days are only getting longer. Sorry, the lights on our side now, so the short days are done.
We might do a little experiment through summer and see with some of our vacant properties how twilight opens go. We could serve some refreshing beverages.
Yep.
Like a little cocktail party.
Well, I know in the past it's worked, so yeah, bring it back. Why not?
Yeah. So let's talk about open numbers.
Yes. Open home numbers for the team, a very busy day. Team Lisa, Michael, and Jonathan JB had a couple of opens today, I think, up at South Creek Road, 12 groups through, an entry-level house there. Some pre-market numbers during the week as well, fairly strong.
Yeah. So that's fantastic property, 800 square metres, potential to have a second accommodation there, so a second property on it, or as old timers call it, a granny flat. Fantastic opportunity. I had two pre-market properties today, both averaging around 5, some really good feedback. But it's been a week of snails. Anyone out there from France would be very happy. So juicy sales this week, or snails.
It sure has. A few put together by the Sarge himself. Talk us through it.
Look, we had an auction a week ago. We had fantastic entry-level property in DY, no balcony, no garage. Still got 785, 300 metres to the beach.
Yep.
We sold one in Banksia, Mark and myself. It was great working with Mark, even at 56, working with someone the calibre of Mark Novak, who, I've got a decade on him in life, but he's probably got a decade on me in real estate experience, because it's 24/7 with Mark.
Yeah.
We started, both around the same time. We're into, mid-20s in experience in real estate, but the guy's just fantastic to work with. We sold a property in Banksia Street. It was a slow burn on this. We had a tenant in there.
Yep.
Really, limited access. We could only get in when there was a full moon and some other things. Now, to be kind to the tenant, they did have a really small baby and were concerned about strange people coming into the house, which is warranted. And then we took it to auction. We were probably a bit bullish with the price at auction, and then we just worked. Saturday opens, Sunday opens, dual opens on a Saturday, and we ended up selling it. And what's really interesting about this property is we sold it. It was the highest amount per square metre for a unit in DY. It was $19,000 per square metre. And other 3 bedrooms were trading around $15,000 and $16,000 a square metre. So when you use that comparison, fantastic sale. And that was some of the dialogue we had with our vendor over price was, this wasn't a big 3-bedroom, but it was a beautiful 3-bedroom. The highest price per square metre for a 3-bedroom unit sale in DY. But, sales are a little bit like ex-girlfriends. You can look back and say, oh, that was beautiful. But, you've got to move forward, Billy.
That's it.
Onward and upward. So new listings this week.
There's a couple of exciting ones coming to market. We went through a couple of exciting opportunities on Monday at the start of the week as a team, our sales caravan, where every one of us jumps in the car, drives out to the property, no matter where it is, how far, how close, to get a look through. So Stefan's got an exciting one in Warriewood. I think that's going to go very quickly.
Well, Stefan's a very exciting fellow. You know, like if you ever can't get to sleep at night, just ring up Stefan and ask him to count from 10 to 0 backwards. His lovely docile tone has put you to sleep. But very exciting property out there. And big boy Billy.
Yes, I actually got a little one myself coming on Narrabeen Lake, dual occupancy, water access. It's a bit of a unicorn. There's nothing like it. First time to the market in 65 years. So stay tuned. You're going to hear about that this week.
Narrabeen was an area where people back in the 70s would come out, stay at Narrabeen Caravan Park from all over Sydney, generally the Greater West, and ended up living out there, building a fibre home at Narrabeen. It was a rough and rugged sort of area back in the 80s. The great Midnight Oil used to play there. You know, the guy that dances like that, Peter Garrett. They were there. I think it was called Narrabeen Antler or something, a little bit before my time, about 5 years before my time. Now, it's hot Northern Beaches property, majestic Narrabeen lakes there, you know, kayaking, small sailboats, paddleboarding, and then the great North Narrabeen beach that stretches from North Narrabeen all the way down to Collaroy, uninterrupted, real village atmosphere.
Yes.
In Narrabeen.
Community.
Yeah, like it's central. It's like being in a coastal town, you know, probably further than the Central Coast, maybe around, you know, the higher North Coast, but, you know, up the Wakers Parkway into the city, down Pittwater Road into the thriving metropolis of DY.
It's great. So, yeah, really excited to bring that one on.
And what's really interesting about this, and you know, for people out there, how do you get a listing? Well, Billy got this listing. Do you mind me telling this story,
No, it's
Billy?
a great story.
Billy got this listing because his family are just genuine, great people. Billy's parents were tenants at this property where they just moved from interstate. Would that be right, Billy?
Yeah.
They just moved from interstate, picked up a rental, and just through, you know, contact with the landlord coming over, it was managed by another agent, not Novak. Got to know Billy, got to know his story, got to know that he was into real estate. Billy's parents have now since purchased a wonderful property in Freshwater. Time to sell.
Yeah.
Let's ring up that great family with their son's an agent.
Well, it's a true compliment to mum and dad and us, and you know, we're very excited to be representing this beautiful family home that I think, you know, we're very passionate about, given that, you know, I've had some wonderful memories there. So
yeah, so
it's a great round story.
You know, there's a lot of people out in real estate think that the hero of the Wolf of Wall Street was the wolf. No, he was the villain.
Yeah.
So, you know, sometimes nice guys do finish first, and this will be a fantastic property for Billy. Probably one of the most sought after properties in Narrabeen this spring.
So yeah, to keep an eye on that. That'll be launching out this week. We've talked about the sales of the week.
So rentals, Billy, do you still have your finger on rentals, Billy?
Well, there's the good news is we've got a couple of experts in the office actually that are giving us a hand. Tenants, landlords alike. Sienna and Bidan are an awesome couple that are the powerhouse behind.
Are they
rentals.
a couple now?
Well, they're a rentals couple.
Billy.
I should be careful with my words.
Don't start rumours.
They are an awesome team that really do cover everything rentals basis. So I know Bidan has been helping with some, you know, new landlords. Sienna, awesome service for the tenants out there, and got some great tips.
Well, at Novak, we have over 1,500 residential managements, a couple of hundred of commercial managements, but we're very, very fortunate. You know, there was once a time when there were the three wise men, but we've got the three wise property managers. You know, they're not going off to find the baby Jesus, but They are Branca, Cleo, and Tina, all 15 years experience, not at 15 different offices,
Yes.
but at Novak. And one of the biggest problems for people out there is change of their property manager for investors with an investment property, because even though we have CRMs or journals that we can write everything down and be saved in the cloud, there's always something up here that we can't write down, and it's the way they communicate with you, the way you like to be communicated with.
Yep.
And just that vast experience of managing the properties. We move them across the portfolios sometimes because a new set of eyes will see something maybe the other property manager didn't. And it's good for them too, 15 years looking after the same landlord. Some of the landlords we've had for over 25 years.
It's outstanding.
But there's always someone in the office that knows your property probably better than yours. And for us as salespeople, it's fantastic, because we know if we get someone that wants property managed, they'll be in a good, safe hands.
Yeah.
If we want to bring our family and friends in and have their properties managed, the same thing. So very, very fortunate with our 3 Ys property management.
But yes, overall, I think, fair to say rentals is pumping along. There's plenty of social activity out on the Facebook and Instagram pages. So keep an eye out on that for new properties coming to market and the results of, people renting their properties out.
Now, I'm going to have a barbecue tomorrow, Billy. So our barbecue bits, but I'll be going to an all-you-can-eat barbecue, and I'm going to test it. I'm going to see if they'll let me eat all I can eat, or they'll say, "Oh, look, don't you think that's enough, sir?" No, your advertisement says it's all you can eat. So I think that's at Campsie. So I've got to drive over to the other side of the city and test out, see if it's false advertising, misleading conduct, deceptive and misleading conduct. I'll be straight into fair trading. But what people want to know, stock levels. Is it hard to find a property to buy? Billy, I know you're a student of stock levels across the Northern Beaches. Can you give me a sort of last month synopsis?
Yeah, absolutely. It's, as you say, an ever-changing number. So it's important to keep an eye on from week to week. For the first time in probably 3 months, 12 weeks or so, it's just crept over 600 properties on realestate.com.
So that's from Manly to Palm Beach, out to, I think Belrose is cut off.
Yep.
Killarney, I think, cuts off. But that whole area, from memory, I think there's about 320,000 people on the Northern Beaches.
It's a lot of people.
That's a lot of people.
For not many houses.
For only 600 houses.
But that's including
home and units as well.
Yeah, that's not including your off-market, pre-market, whatever is not on realestate.com. And of course, domains not included in that as well. But it's a good indication, and number to monitor for us to get a general idea of stock levels. It's slowly crept up over 600. Was sitting as low as high 400s. It's sort of in the 12 weeks ago. So
yeah,
about a 20% change,
which is incredibly low, because there has been periods. I think 2002, 2017, where that number could be as high as 800. So it's still low stock levels. Low. I think that will continue. I think we've moved into a phase. There's very little development. There is 200 units being built. Casa
Del Mar.
There'll be 200 units there in DY. There's not a lot of major big sites left in DY. There is zoning in Brookvale to go 7 stories, I think, along Pittwater Road.
Yes.
And then 3 stories, a mixture of commercial and residential in streets like Rogers Street and around that precinct as well.
Yeah.
However, not a lot coming on. So I think it'll continue to be tight on the Northern Beaches. it doesn't look like, you know, we're going to get up to 1,000. It doesn't look like we're going to fall off the mortgage cliff.
No.
It's sort of, if you're a buyer, you see something you like it. I think we were talking with Stevan once. If it's 7 out of 10 or 8 out of 10, it might be the right one.
It's trading. There
It's
you go.
trading.
So plenty of sales for the week for the team. Now the question the buyers, the sellers, the viewers, they all want to know is what's Glenn doing?
Well, tomorrow,
Outside.
tonight, I'm going to watch the rugby league. That'll be quite exciting.
Yep.
Stay at home. I've actually got a Sunday off tomorrow because the family's back, and we're going to head out and have an all-you-can-eat buffet.
A bottomless brunch, they call it.
No, it'll be lunch. Billy, how about your good self?
Celebrating a friend's 21st tonight.
Oh,
I
this
think
sounds dangerous.
catching up on a bit of a Rugby World Cup. France had an amazing game. Wales had an amazing game
Wales,
over the week.
who'd Wales beat? Fiji.
Fiji, and it was tight.
And then Australia lost to Fiji.
Yes.
I think Australia's playing Wales on Monday morning, 4 o'clock.
Well, I have to say I'll be supporting the enemy. Living in Wales for a 3-year period, I have to stay loyal.
Right.
But yes, just a weekend of sport and celebrations.
All right. Well, everyone stay safe. Have a great weekend. We'll come back to you next week. I think next week is a long weekend. We'll be showing properties right through. And you might see us in a few weeks' time live from location. We might get some of our twilight opens for inspection.
Have a good weekend.
Good night.